Hold on. Isn't this Miss World India?
This is at the Miss World, yes.
Go back a little bit.
Don't miss out that gown, huh? That gown was something, entrepreneurship. I actually got it stitched myself because there weren't any designers.
Lotion smooth and clean, best I've ever seen. Soft and silky sheen, like a perfect dream. True skin makes me shine, feeling so divine. Beauty I can find in the skin of mine.
I became a Miss India at 19. And so, yes, around that time, or actually, I would think just about that time, or just,
Hold on. Isn't this Miss World India?
This is at the Miss World, yes.
Go back a little bit.
Don't miss out that gown, huh? That gown was something, entrepreneurship. I actually got it stitched myself because there weren't any designers. Yes.
This is 1991.
Yes, this is 1991.
How old were you at this time?
19.
You were 19 at this time. And where did this happen?
So we traveled a lot. This is the first time the Miss World happened outside of London. So we got together in London 1 week. Then we went to South Africa 2 weeks. Then we went to America. And this was in Atlanta, Georgia.
3 different countries.
Yes.
What?
3 different continents, actually.
Continents. That's so true. Wow.
Yeah.
How was this experience? I just want you to recall this for young friends, because Mr. Pal is right around the corner, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I just want to recollect this experience. Your point of view.
I think, I will tell you something very, very honest today, in fact, on your show. So, in fact, I think it was such an enlightening experience because, after one, Miss India was life-changing, because from a college student, I'm a school student, you are suddenly this most sought-after person in the modeling circuit, and people are like, you're getting people from Bombay calling you for films and this and that. And then after that, of course, it's up to you how much you want to handle and what you want to do.
Yeah.
Going for the Miss World, I think, was amazing because we spent 32 days with them, with 98 girls. So I had my, the wisdom dawning at that time was that, because it was not about looks at all. Because what a Miss India looks like, a Miss Africa is completely different.
Mm.
How a Miss Switzerland looks like is completely different. So I think it was more about your personality, what you are, how much can you offer. And I think that was itself a very, very big learning for me. And then, of course, handling press and all of that and things. And I had gone for another contest before I went for the Miss World.
You want to make
No. May Queen was the first one when I was still in school and it just happened.
When you were small,
Yeah. No, I was 18 maybe. So that put a stepping stone for me because I won it.
Yeah.
It put a stepping stone for me for the Miss India because I was like, okay, I'm going to go for the Miss India now. So after the Miss India, I went for another contest. And I think sometimes when you're so engrossed in what you're going to wear and what you're going to look like, and you forget that there's something up here which needs to be polished every now and then. And that is the time I made the biggest blunder, I think, of my life. I was the top 3 and I was outright going to be the winner. And so the final question was a disastrous answer. I don't know whether I should tell you.
Go for it. What was the question? Though?
So the question was, we are in New York and I'm standing on the stage. It's in 91. The Gulf War is on. And so the person, the MC asked me that, so who's your world political, favorite world political leader? And guess what I said? So I, being myself, very easy on stage and happy and all that. So I said, my favorite leader is Saddam Hussein. And very well, people really thought that was a nice joke, to break the audience. Everybody's laughing. And suddenly my mind is thinking, no, I should not have said this.
You cracked a joke, kind of.
And then, of course, instead of, I could have continued and, had said, no, I mean so-and-so, so-and-so.
It wouldn't have meant,
Yeah, but then I suddenly went on the defense. I heard myself when I came back, I heard the person saying, but why? So they're like, but why?
Now you need to go ahead and cross-answer.
So then, but again, the learning for me from that day was, I read every day. I read every day because I feel it's absolutely essential to keep your five senses alive all the time. And you have to keep brushing them. So I think that is something which became a learning from me. So much so that when I went with the Miss World, I was called for all press meets because, I could portray everything very well at that point of time. So I think life's a lesson.
Yeah.
And you have to learn every day.
I'm sure I'm sure that was a big learning. How old were you at that time? Very young. You're still in your teenage years.
If I was 19 then, I must have been 6 months younger then. So it was like that when this episode happened.
How did you cope up with it? How did you cope up with I made a blunder?
The next morning. Of course, that day it just happened. I became the first runner-up and all of that and whatever happened. But the next morning I woke up and I said, why did I do that? But then today when I look back, after so many years, it's sweet and it's laughable. But at that time, it was like disastrous for me for the result that came, right? So, but I think it's a good learning.
When you think about it now, if that hadn't happened, we wouldn't be sitting here.
No, why? We would be.
No, I'm saying in a sense like things would have turned out differently. Maybe.
No, I don't think so.
No, you don't think so?
So even if I for that contest when I went, I went for the Miss World after that. And then I went for the Miss Asia World too, where I was the second runner-up. So I don't think so.
You don't think so? What I'm trying to say is sometimes in life, something happens and then it's meant to be. That's what I was trying to say.
This was meant to be.
This was meant to be. You know what I mean? Everything is meant to be for where you are.
Suraj was meant to be.
That's what I was trying to say. It's meant to be.
So life takes you in that direction.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm a firm believer that there's a destiny.
Yeah.
You don't sit around waiting for it to unfold. You make it happen. But it is already there.
It's already meant for you, right? Yeah. That's what I meant. Because there's so many things that's gone wrong, Like you said, I wish I had done that. why did I do that, But everything led to this moment for us to be here today and actually be alive and talking about things, And I completely agree with you on that. And one thing that I wanted you to, touch base on, especially for my young viewers, the risk of signing a paper and saying that, okay, let me be a part of this, or let me go ahead with this. It's a risk. Mm-hmm. Whatever you do in life, it's a risk of joining a pageant or opening a business, right? How did you overcome that risk?
So I think first thing you have to inculcate in you is to be able to take a risk. If it is there in you, you will be a natural. But if you want to go that way, you have to inculcate it. So whether it is I could have been very shaky to even say, oh, should I even fill up the form? Because what if I don't become? Well, if I don't become, I don't become.
It's
right? Okay. And then something else will happen in life, right? So I think, and even in business, if you don't have the risk-taking ability, I don't think you would be in a business in the first place. That's a strong belief. Actually, not a belief, it's a rule, I would say. If you can't take a risk, you wouldn't be there. Because you are actually an entrepreneur as somebody who's, from digging the hole to finding the water to be able to sell it. And, so you are that person. So you have to have it all in you. It has to be a part of you to be able to take a risk.
तपाईले हाम्रो क्लिप एकदमै एन्जोय गर्नुभयो होला। अब पुरै भिडियो हेर्नको लागि चाहिँ YouTube मा सब्स्क्राइब गर्न नबिर्सिनु होला। व्यास मिडिया नेटवर्क।